And just like that, we are live. Another Games Talk Live today. And yes, Gaz, you are on Games Talk Live. You're not on XNC.
I've made it. Mama, I'm
Yeah. Earlier before the show, this man just called me Colt, and I was like, this is not XNC, my friend. This is GTL. Welcome, everybody. It's going to be an awesome day today because we've got the sauce man himself in here. And if you're questioning, what is the sauce exactly? Well, let me go ahead and show you what the sauce is.
Your discretion is advised. If you have any young children or sophisticated acquaintances watching, you may want them to leave the room.
Guys, what can you tell us about the situation here?
Brother, it is crazy. You see, ever since Xbox is awake, PlayStation people going mad. State of Play biggest game is Xbox exclusive. And don't even, Bethesda acquisition, they drive them mad. But Game Pass.
Shit. Run. Hey, come on.
Halo better bang. It better be sick and show us some visually impressive exclusive, for God's sake.
4 sources, 4 topics. They made it look like he said 3 for 3 or 4 6. Xbox got no games, they said, as they told live. Great news awaits for no one, cause it's already Maximus, Aurelius, Spencer. That's the truth. And you know the truth is the sauce.
The sauce man himself, Gaz. Seriously, welcome, man. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, man. And thank you for going through the trouble of making that.
I had to give people a little bit of what the sauce is about because a lot of people ask, what is the sauce? And how did you come up with this whole idea of the sauce thing?
Man, me between my friends circle, we have just so many stupid sayings. And in my bio, I always had swimming in the sauce on Twitter, just like that. And I kept saying overuse of the word dank, overuse of the word sauce, to the point where it got woven in our natural conversations, like Acer's in a group chat, what's up with us? And we're like, sauce, oh, that's saucy, that's sauced. To the point where it almost replaced the English language. So it just very naturally, I put that in one of my videos. Just say sauce, and then that's it. That's how it became a thing.
Yeah, I remember back when one of your first videos where you actually started getting into the sauce, and you started getting kind of frantic, and you had that alter ego where you just go just nuts, essentially. And I remember I saw a glimpse of that in one of your earlier videos, and I told you, you need more of that.
Yeah,
that's what you need. And
it was because of guidance from people like you. You said, look, more of that kind of energy on camera. The funny thing is, and this is probably an indictment upon me, my friends finally said to me, because finally, my friends who've known me for years, finally, you're being yourself on camera, which is just crazy.
And that's what I do here as well. I just, this is who I am. And you get the Fonz, like that is my nickname at work.
Yeah.
Fonzarelli came from a guy named Al at my job. And he just, one day I walked in, he goes, oh, what's up? Arthur Fonzarelli. I was like, what the? And it just stuck. So.
And that's it.
That's it. So like, I get what you're saying. Like you want to put more of yourself out there. I think people really appreciate when we do that. And that's what people gravitate to is, people that are being real. And that's what you're being. And I appreciate that 100%, man. I know you had your website, gameondaily.com. Tell us a bit about that website, by the way.
That is a website me and Acer created together. Game On Daily, before Acer came into the scene, was just like a blog site, journalist site that I started. Had some mixed successes, actually, just for a tiny kind of blog site. But we wanted more because we were frequenting a news aggregation platform called N4G, where me and Acer actually met. But we didn't like the way it was run, didn't like the community. It was very lopsided, very PlayStation hardcore, but very toxic. And I didn't like that. And Asa and I said, look, we can do this, but better. And Asa, bless him, he's a genius. He has so many good ideas as well. So we, even though we're Jekyll and Hyde, very different personalities, I wouldn't never get into bed with someone, not literally, but figuratively, if I didn't think they were a good person. I have to, this is a lifelong endeavor. You have to be very careful. And I feel very blessed to have Acer as a partner. We put in there, and I think people will be very shocked at how much money we've poured into Game On Daily, and we're still investing, and we're still developing, and we're nowhere near in terms of traffic. We're not happy with that. We need to keep pushing it. We don't market it enough for a website that's
People need to go hit up GameOnDaily.com. You need to use this website. Honestly, I've been using it lately too to get my gaming news and stuff because you guys, it is on top of all the new, all the stuff that comes out right away. I mean, they've got all the gaming news there. So it's definitely one of those websites. Between yours and Lognet from the Iron Lords, those are the two that I'm going to. So it's
and
really,
Iron Lords submit there as well, which is great.
Yep. And here's the thing. You know, you've been doing this website for a while. What got you into this whole YouTube thing, though? Like, what started that? What was the catalyst?
Well, the thing is, I actually did YouTube like 8 years ago, quite early on. Very crazy, like myself, but unhinged. I was the first person to ever in the world to leak the Xbox One user interface that got Pinello in hot trouble. Phil Spencer had to get involved, stuff like that. I liked it. It was fun, but I stopped because life got in the way. Me, girlfriends, it just made things a bit problematic, and it went by the wayside. Asa said he never intended to do YouTube, and I said, look, we will end up doing it. You can't escape YouTube. That's where my heart really is as well. So we brought it back, and I don't think people understand. Me, you, Colt, and others in the scene understand. YouTube takes over your mind. All I think about is the source, even though you might not, like, where's the output? But that's all we think about. YouTube has been a part of my intention to. I have very lofty goals with what I want to do with the source and with YouTube. So
Yeah, it's one of those things where you have to think about it if you're doing a channel, and you give a crap about it anyway. You do have to think about what you're going to put there and what's next, because if you don't, your channel just dies. And unfortunately for me, you know my situation, been working lots of hours lately. It's hard to just get these videos rolling, because especially for somebody like me or you or Colt especially, when you get there and you sit down to edit a video, I mean, you just told me the other day it took you how many hours to edit
over
your last
25
video?
Hours of editing just for that one 12-minute video.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man. That's what people don't understand. This editing and stuff take forever. And even just getting prepared for even my show today, I like to do things a little different. I like to have montages made and stuff. Like, that's something I want to do for guests and stuff.
I love your
that
stuff
takes time. It takes time.
It does.
And because
the quality, man.
Yeah, I have to download all these videos and then try to take bits and pieces, and it's work. It's work, basically.
But it shows, though, Fonz, in your stuff. It really shows.
To
hit
some
you
people.
up, like, I was literally, when I say I'm laughing, I'm physically laughing out loud.
Yeah,
the video with the G.I. Joes.
Same for you, man. When I'm watching some of those clips, it's just hilarious. Like when you guys did, the parody for the Office Space thing.
Oh yeah,
that was hilarious, man. One of the best things I saw in a long time. You guys did it so well. That, of course, was you, Darge Knight, and some of your friends. Not sure.
All my mates.
Yeah. It was very good. Well done.
Thank you, man.
So, of course, you've already told us how you and Asa connected to get together for this Game On Daily. So tell us, when did you start playing video games yourself, man?
Man, as soon as I laid eyes on, I think it was the Atari, and there was this weird game where you jump on a leaf with barely pixels. But I remember that moment, one of my earliest moments. I fell in love at first sight. Like, what is that? Like, my cousins were playing. My first ever console was the Sega Mega Drive,
which is the Genesis here for the US
Genesis
folks.
For you guys, yeah, Genesis for you guys. But the thing is, back then I lived in Pakistan, and over there it was either the Genesis or the Mega Drive, because they sell bootleg stuff. My first ever game actually was 3-in-1 Mortal Kombat 1, an Aliens game, and Sunset Riders, which is some brilliant cowboy game, side scroller. So that was my first game, but I fell in love straight away. And my parents hate hate video games because it's
Really?
just taken over my life. I hate it with a passion. With a passion.
Yeah, my parents. Honestly, my mother sat there and played Pac-Man on the 2600. One day she was just sitting there playing it, and it got to like level 99 or something. It wouldn't go past that level, right? Whatever that top level was, she was there, and so she basically just killed it on Pac-Man. But my dad would delve into it, every now and then, some racing games and stuff he would try out, but he would suck. But anyway, my whole family played video games, so it was just wicked. Something that was an awesome thing and an awesome time. But
I have very strict Asian parents. They're like, you're going to be the governor, you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, can't play video games. But
you're a lawyer that plays video games, so doesn't that work out?
I'm a lawyer that plays video games.
Doesn't that work out, though, for your parents? Do they back off a little bit now? Or they still
have to. They've had to now. They're like, well, it pays the bill. I put a roof on my head, so they can't really complain. And me and my family are very close, irrespective of their disdain of gaming. Yeah.
That's good, man. Well, I want to go ahead and play a game with you right now.
Oh, no,
and of course, you know this game, right? 5 questions. All right, Gaz. 5 questions. 4 trivia questions. 1 subjective at the end. So you get to answer that however you want. But as host, I have the power to say whether you are correct or wrong on that question. Even if it's subjective, all right? So here we go. Question number 1. I got to play the music for you. How many games are in the Uncharted series, my friend?
Not counting the DLC?
We're just counting the games. How many games?
4.
Correct.
Yay.
I thought I was going to trick you there with Lost Legacy or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
In God of War 2018, what was the name of the son of Kratos?
Atreus.
Easy, right?
Yeah.
Gordon Freeman is the main protagonist in what popular video game franchise?
Half-Life.
Gordon Freeman.
Half-Life. Gordon Freeman.
True or false? This is a true or false. The first Call of Duty game was simply named Call of Duty. True or false?
True.
Yes. We can stop the music. You got all those.
You understand how nervous I was? I'm so happy I got 4 right.
So
I have watched this show. I'm like, I'm going to be the first idiot who gets all of them wrong.
Boom. All right.
Yes.
Yep, you got him. Yeah. Favorite gaming experience of all time, my friend?
Favorite gaming experience of all time?
Yes.
Oh,
or it could be
video game?
favorite game. It could be a video game or experience playing video games, whatever you'd like to give us here.
I've had loads of gaming experiences that are great.
Yeah.
I guess I'm quite competitive online, and Quake 3 took over my life.
I don't like that answer. No, I'm just kidding. No, go ahead.
I got it wrong at the end on the subjective one. Basically, I had this love affair with Quake 3 Arena to the point where, so people don't know, I was a bit of a naughty person in school to the point I got expelled from my school. And so I joined another school. We had to beg the teachers to let me in. And I had to be in good behavior. And I had a rough upbringing, but my first day at school, I met these people, and it's called sixth form. It's like college, and I had all these pirated, copied CDs of Quake 3, and I just gave it out to people. Like I'm very extroverted anyway, but like there was a foosball table, and I gave it to everyone. I said, "Hey guys, I'm in this year. I've got a Quake clan. Can you just play it free? I've just joined me." And you will be surprised that people don't look like gamers, like the jocks and stuff. To this day, we're proper gamers now. And I played quite well, and then I met the world champion of Quake.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
nice.
And I played against him, and it was 2012. He beat me 2012, but he said, "You've got some mad skills," and that's
a great
moment for me.
I will accept that. And with that, you win. Yes! You win. Yes! Yeah. So, how does it feel to be a winner? Oh, it feels that good. Yes. The sauce is flowing through them. See, people, that's how you do it with 5 questions.
I'm genuinely happy.
You come in and you just wreck those 5 questions. I appreciate that because that's the way it should be done. Anyway, risk it for the biscuit with the $8 super chat says, "What up, boys? I'm here, clear-headed, on time, and clothed. Mega Drive was my first baby, but I secretly wanted an SNES. Did you have an SNES?
Yeah, so I had the same thing. I had an American neighbor, which is quite weird in Pakistan. But pre 9/11, there was a big American community in Pakistan, like a expat community. Really? And this American kid had the NES. And I was so jealous, man. To the point where I was console warring from day one.
Really?
Sega versus... I was console warring from day one, me and him.
I think that's something that I never really got into. When I was a kid, my friends and I... We had different consoles and stuff, and we just went over each other's houses and played the games and enjoyed them. Like, we didn't say, oh, this sucks or that sucks.
Oh, yeah.
We just played.
We did.
And I know that there was console warring. I knew that it was a thing, or I
didn't
heard
know
about
it
it
was a thing.
later. But early on, I didn't know it was a thing at all. I didn't experience it.
I didn't know.
I didn't experience it until I was an adult. And I was like, wow, adults really fight over games? This was back in the PS3 era. That's when I learned about it. I was like, whoa. Okay, because I always bought all the consoles, man. I don't know about you. Did you have all the consoles?
I bought the NES and eventually got the NES. But it was a very fun rivalry. Like, me and him were like best friends. We used to come to each other's house. But I knew about console warring when a famous game magazine, I paid premium to get this copy of the magazine, but it was Mario and Sonic doing like an arm wrestling thing, and I was like, oh wow, this is real. It made console wars real for me. Yeah,
Mario and Sonic doing an arm wrestling thing, like over the top. What was this?
It was the cover page of a magazine. It's like Sonic versus Mario, and it was so cool, and I still etched in my memory.
That's awesome.
I love console wars for that because I see it in a very different, fun way.
Those were the days, man. We used to sit there and read magazines with all this stuff. Yeah, I mean, my mother would be shopping in a grocery store, and I'd go to the magazine rack and just start reading all the magazines. And then sometimes, some of the employees would say, "If you're not going to buy it, put it down." I'm just like, really? I'm just a kid trying to read something here. Yeah. Harjeet Chani says, Gaz, hilarious on the Asian parents, Indian for me. Have to be a doctor, have to go to Harvard, no options, manage one of those. Hint, not a doctor.
Well, shout out to Harvard, man.
Yeah,
jeez,
that's awesome,
everyone can
dude.
become a doctor, but becoming to Harvard, Hargreet.
That's. I'm not sure if you say Harjeet or Hargeet. I'm not sure. Let me know in the chat, man.
It's a Sikh name. Kidda?
Okay.
Yeah, he knows what that means.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard some people call him Harjeet. I said Hargeet one time, and I
think it's Hargeet.
I don't know.
Hargeet is how you pronounce it in Indian.
I apologize,
because I can speak Urdu, which is what Indians speak is Hindi. Very similar. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what games are you playing right now, man?
I'm just playing Deathloop before I came on here, actually, and then planning the Source video. Deathloop is a game that
let's talk about Deathloop.
You got it running on here. You're like Asa. Damn, that was quick.
Let's talk about Deathloop a bit. I have to be, man. Because every other show, I'm going to put this up and that up, and then I'm fumbling around looking for stuff. No, I got it ready today, people.
But you're managing it and talking and hosting. Asa, get some respite. There's 2 of us. You're on your own.
You
did that well.
And you know what? Hosting is not that easy. Shout out to the people that do it with multiple panel members and stuff. People like Dealer Gaming, Cognito. I mean, those 2 guys are the best in the business, man. I love their hosting capabilities. Those 2 guys are amazing. So
definitely
mad love to those guys. But yeah, Deathloop, man. You see it on the screen. You're playing it now. How do you feel about it?
I just started, and I'm already seeing the touches of its flavor, of its genius. And there's it's definitely closely grounded to Dishonored. There's definitely those vibes there. So they've really stuck on that template, but it's oozing style. Really like the protagonist, really like the dialogues they have been between each other. Sounds really cool. Very different. I know it's not a spoiler really, but the premise of the game, this is what you're seeing here, and then it's quite early in the game. It's really cool. The couple of things I didn't like, because I'm playing on PC, and I've had some issues with frame pacing and stuff, and a PC version has suffered from some issues, but it's not taking too much away from the experience. The AI is very rudimentary. I mean, this is like last gen, so that's a bit
Really?
like, yeah, it's like, you know, they have a stealth meter, and they see you and they're like, oh, but that's not the point of the game. It's more
It's a lot like
the
Dishonored
cadence.
in that way. I
Dishonored,
think.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's exactly. It's almost like that, but it's like they pulled that game in, but they put in this Deathloop the looping, whatever it is. I don't want to run too much about it. I'm very early into the game,
Yeah.
but I know that if I sit down and play this, it will absorb me. And it
Okay.
also gives you full freedom to play the game as you want, as Dishonored did. So it's like, yeah, okay, that's kind of cool.
Now, what about the whole thing that, you know, the whole death loop, the starting over, you know, you die, you're back to day one, or, you know, how is that so far for you? I mean, are you into, is it anything like a roguelike game, or is it?
Because I know you're not really a fan
I'm not a big
of
fan of that kind of stuff. And so that does turn me off about this. Also, what else turns me off about it is the fact that I'm not a fan of Dishonored, and I'm not hating on it. It's fine. You know, if people like it, that's awesome. But this game is getting 10s out of 10s. I mean, this is like masterpiece level for some reviewers out there.
I'm very early to make any kind of determination to that effect. I'm already seeing glimpses of that in terms of your question about whether or not you get those kind of roguelite vibes. I kind of do, but I don't think it's a problem, Fonz. It's not like those other games. Like, if you do a mission there, like a critical one, that doesn't mean you have to redo it if you die. It tells you that. It's like, you've done this bit, you've learned the knowledge, like, to progress, like a code. So you don't have to, but you just have to navigate through the levels. You get two turns.
I heard there was like sections that you would start over if you died in certain, you know, you pass one, you get to the next, and then you pass that, you get to the next section, and then, you know, it would be like that. And that's fine, but again, it plays like Dishonored, right? I mean,
it does.
That's what I really don't
though,
care for too much.
Yeah. So the thing I'm trying to figure out, because I'm very early on, I need to get to a place called Udam or something, very, very early on. But this kind of combat, that's what I'm trying to replicate. For me, games, I'm all about player movement. So I love Titanfall. Like, give me the player movement. Yeah, Titanfall's amazing. And this kind of stuff, there's like the way the movement and gunplay works, there's all that potential there. So I'm very early on, and I wouldn't write it out off Fonz, but yeah, wait till it eventually comes to Game Pass.
That's interesting, because first I'll get this first. Risk It for the Biscuit says, I'm waiting for it to hit Game Pass. Our superhero. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Maybe it definitely will hit Game Pass when it does come to the Series X. Is it a year exclusive for PlayStation?
I think so. I think it's a year's exclusive. And I wouldn't say there's a mad urgency
I'll try
to play it, Fonz.
Yeah, I'll definitely try it when it comes to Game Pass. But again, Dishonored wasn't my cup of tea. And that's what's interesting here. When you see a game that's a lot like another game that you may not like, you'll get somebody like me on these, you know, or another talking head on a podcast saying, this is not really something for me, and a lot of people kind of get annoyed by that. They say, how can you speak on a game or against a game if you have not played it? And I'm the type of person that would say, well, if it plays like something else that I don't like, or looks a lot like something else I don't like, I probably won't like it. Yeah. And I do you ever get that when you're talking about a game that you don't play yet or haven't played and don't want to play, and people are like, why can you speak on it because you haven't played it yet?
Yeah, you get that a lot, surprisingly, because people don't seem to like to see things from other people's perspective, and then now somehow you're precluded from even talking about it. But you can actually see instances of them showing that hypocrisy when they deride something like, I don't know, Call of Duty, but they've never played that, but they've made the assumption that it's formulaic. Yes, it is, but have you actually experienced that game? Maybe there's something there that warrants that play, isn't just a copy and paste. And you get that a lot, and I don't really take it that seriously. But because my view is, well, I'm entitled to my opinion. If you think my opinion is unwarranted or has flaws, then identify the reasons why, beyond just saying, well, you don't like it, so you can't talk about it. Well, okay, well then, just put as much weight as you want to my opinion, but don't try and outright or silence me on
Like
it.
for instance, there's specific genres that I may really love, and despite how a game may look, I might play the game because it's a specific genre. Let's take, for instance, an open world third person action adventure game. I might I'll try a game like that, you know, because I love those type of games. Open world games, I don't get open world fatigue. I never have, never will. I love those type of games.
That's different for me. Yeah.
Yeah, but when it comes to first person shooters, I love a lot of first person shooters, but for some reason the stealth genre, when you have to be a little bit too stealthy, then I lose interest.
You might not like Deathloop then, because actually I tried this non-stealth route
like
and
that.
stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like that. It's like that. And it does reward stealth more, in my opinion, than non-stealth for my very early playthrough. That's why Acer and you are very similar. And also kind of get that stealth thing, because AI in games isn't good enough for me to warrant the stealth mechanics, because it seems really, I don't know, it just pulls me away. It seems very laborious.
Yeah, the only stealth game I really, really enjoyed back in the day, or games I should say, was Splinter Cell, the series. I had
Yeah,
a
or
blast
Metal
with
Gear
Splinter Cell.
Solid. Yeah, Splinter Cell was amazing.
Yeah. The first Metal Gear was Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear 2, 3, it's fine. But when it started getting into 4 and 5, it got weird, and then I lost interest.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
You know,
Exactly.
it's the whole freaking Kojima
Kojima on
thing,
crack?
the Kojima factor. Like I don't
Kojima
know.
is just
He's on
LSD
the
all the
sauce,
time,
all right?
man.
He's on the sauce.
He is on the sauce. Trust me. I know for a fact. I'll tell you who's on the sauce. The guy who created the guy behind Hellblade. Have you added him on
Ninja
Instagram
Theory?
or something? What's his name? Mansuri or something?
No, I haven't added him on
He
anything.
is a character. He's got these
Really?
like really attractive models, and he's doing some next party here and there. And I'm like, invite me, man. But at the same time, thinking, are you guys working hard on the next Hellblade game? Because this guy is partying all the time, wearing leather and all sorts. He looks like he's something from the Matrix 2,
funny.
where they were dressed up really cool and weird. But yeah,
And weird. Yeah.
very weird.
But no, yeah, Deathloop doesn't really look that all interesting to me. Another thing that has come up recently is Battlefield 2042. Of course, everybody heard it's delayed. The first time I heard of this was the day before or 2 days before. Dealer likes to do this thing where he'll hear something from a source and he'll lay out a cryptic message. And basically he just said 2021 has changed for me. And I go, what? So I had to call him. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? And he goes, well, I just heard Battlefield 2042 is getting delayed. And I don't know how long, but maybe possibly into next year. But it's getting delayed. And I go, oh, man. And I said, well, I'm not going to say anything. I'll let it, you deal with this or whatever if you want to put it out there. And of course, Jeff Grubb had said something earlier that day, not mentioning what game, but he said that there's games being delayed. And so, of course, Dealer that night just puts it out there. Boom.
Yeah.
Battlefield
Dealer was the
getting
first
delayed.
person I found out through Dealer's tweet.
Yeah. And then of course, article after article were written and Dealer's name was all over the place, in these articles. And I was like, yeah, well, there you go. I mean, that just goes to show you that sometimes he does hear things. Like some people like to throw out all the time that he
definitely
doesn't have
does.
sources. He's got sources, trust me.
And
There's
look
been
at Dealer's
plenty of
track
times.
record, man.
Yeah,
look at
there's been
Dealer's track record.
There's been
He
plenty
knows
of
stuff.
times he's told me stuff that I've never told anybody, and then it comes to fruition, and it's like,
Same.
there you go.
He knows
And-
stuff. 100%
Yeah,
he knows stuff.
Of course. And Battlefield 2042 was one of those games that I personally was looking forward to playing because I have friends that I want to play online with, but I don't want to spend that $70 for just an online game. I was mad that they didn't have a campaign. I know we can get into that argument, but that's not what I want to get into here. Basically, how do you feel about 2042 being delayed, though? Does it bother you at all, or is it okay because it's just a month?
So we talked about this on our show yesterday. It's the delays. I'm happy with delays as long as it lets the game be better. The thing about the delay being so small, and we've had multiple developers say that they don't like these small incremental delays because they have a pipeline. They want to achieve something. And they known from the outset that they had actually an extra month, the game would have benefited better as opposed to these patchwork little patches. And that's more indicative of things like rushing at the end. The thing about Battlefield is, I was actually, when it got delayed, I was like, when I saw Dealer's tweet, I said, okay, well, I hope it's a bit later till next year because I want Halo to have some breathing space as well. And kind of with these multiplayer games, can't wait to play Battlefield. You have to devote so much time to them. Otherwise, if you get behind the curve, the good players with their better weapon attachments and better game knowledge will dominate you. Now I've got Battlefield and Halo to contend with, and now Battlefield is closer to Halo. Halo's launch is in November 20th or something, and then now you've got Halo.
Yeah, you have, I think,
December.
November, or is it November 19th?
19th? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sean Labrie in the chat. What's up? It's good to see him. He's the one who made my GTL logo, by the way. So
he's very malleable,
He's very
talented and flexible with his. He's taken over. Yeah.
And sorry, I'm just going to throw it out there because I think he needs more of a plug here. If you need anything from this man, because see, I like to do my own graphics and stuff. I do everything myself. But when it came to my logo, I was sitting there and I didn't know exactly what I wanted. So I went to him and I said, hey, throw me something out there with an 80s vibe or whatever. And he did.
Is that what you did?
It was very close to what he had here. And then I said, hey, change this. And he did it. And I was like, perfect. That's what I was looking for. Didn't know I was looking for that, but yeah, Sean Labrie is very talented, man.
I don't
very
use Sean. I've got our own graphic designer called Jake, but even despite that, Sean Labrie's content and work has spread like through the core content creators. Even I recognize, even though I've never really spoken to him, but
Colt's
his
another
work
one,
is everywhere.
great artist. Yeah, Colt's a great artist
and
as well.
And it's so flexible. A sign of talent is how his variety and is really good, Sean. And he only accepts payment in nudes.
Nudes. Wow. We didn't need to say that.
I don't know you, Sean. Hope you
man, I gave him some feet pics. He was fine. So Battlefield 42. Getting back to that, though. It's a shame that it's being delayed, but at the same time, there's no such thing as bad delay. But it's such a small window of delay here. Like the time frame is so small that I'm like, what are they doing here? Can they actually finally bring out a Battlefield game that isn't buggy right at the start? Will it happen, Gas? Will it happen?
I have no faith because I had a friend who was in the technical alpha thing, and he said it was a bit of a mess. He said it was quite messy. And we haven't, someone in chat said that we haven't seen much of it. We only saw pre-alpha gameplay for it at E3. Nothing since then is coming out soon. I'm a little bit concerned, and I quite clearly remember what happened with Battlefield 4 launch. Me and my mate Ben, we went through all those errors and crashes, and I'm telling you, and people say I'm like scaremongering, something is not right with Battlefield 2042. We haven't seen any gameplay fonts except pre-alpha. Come on, man. It's bloody September. It's almost October.
I just hope it's not a situation like Battlefield 4 because you remember how many months it took for that game. Or year? Was it a year?
Mate, it was like a year. I gave up on it. And me and my friends were having... It was such a good game, but it was broken. If that happens again with 2042, I'm so pissed. Sorry, I'm not swear. So I'll be annoyed.
No, I understand, man. Dead Planet with a 5 says, a quote came out recently regarding Marvel movies being too copy and paste. I get that same feeling from a PlayStation exclusive, third person plus story fun gimmick. See, I don't tire those games because for me, I totally get what he's saying. It makes a lot of sense. But for me, that's the reason why I own a PlayStation 5 is for those games because I love those type of games. And I wish that Microsoft would at least adopt one style of that type of game.
This Lord Cognito,
just like Lord Cognito, me and him have talked about it for years. We want at least one of those. So, it's just, I don't know, man. That'll get me off on a tangent about, those types of games. But with Battlefield 2042, I think that I just want a game that comes out and is not buggy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we deal with that all the time with most games now, especially AAAs. They drop and then, they're filled with bugs or some sort of problem. Battlefield has always come out in that shape, except for I think Bad Company 2 was decent when that dropped.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but I think that was decent.
It's
But
always
it's
had
been a while.
problems.
It's been a while, and we need it to come out in good shape. And take as much time as they need, I say. That's what I'll tell any developer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take as much time as you need, get the co-op in there, and then bring it out, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
Yeah, because you hate Halo Infinite now. You hate it,
Apparently.
right? Gaz hates
Apparently.
Halo Infinite, guys. Hates Halo Infinite, hates 343 now, and he used to argue with me about 343 and defend them to the teeth. Like, this guy would just
First
come at
ever
me.
show together, and
Yeah.
me and you had a disagreement. I was like, no, 343, I said, and I quote, you're being too harsh on 343. Egg on my face. But I can't even do a but at this point.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Halo Infinite, I hope it comes out great. I hope there's no issues. I hope it's just beautiful. Just an amazing
I'm
campaign.
praying it's like that.
I
It's a
hope it is.
love-hate relationship.
Hargeet back again says, "What would you like to be the next publisher Xbox buys?" Oh, the next publisher, regardless of whether it's announced tomorrow and why. Okay, so what do you think would give it most Game Pass subs? What publisher would you think Xbox should buy? It's a good
Should
question.
is an interesting one
or
because
even say, what would you like them? I would ask you that. What would you like them to buy?
I would love
I have mine.
just for the console war, just for the disruption. If Take-Two and Rockstar
Yes.
GTA became
Yes.
exclusive,
I'm
to
right there with you.
Xbox.
I'm right there with you. And not
Can you
just
imagine?
not because of any console war. For me, I just love Rockstar so much. I love their games.
Yeah.
You know me, guys. Red Dead 2, Red Dead 1, those games are those are my top games, man. I love those games. GTA is amazing. So
That single player game thing that would have been resolved and then some, because these games,
Yep.
it would be a force to be reckoned with. If
can you imagine?
GTA, everyone would get an Xbox or a PC. Everyone.
It would make no sense. You got Elder Scrolls 6 coming exclusively, by the way. Exclusive. You got Elder Scrolls 6 that will be, guys, again, because I have to do it again, because I need to drill it home, because people are still asking, I wonder if Elder Scrolls... No.
Exclusive.
It's exclusive, guys. It's exclusive. You got that, then you would have Rockstar and all their amazing games. And just imagine if they would just come out and say GTA 6.
Exclusive.
Oh my God. That would
It would just kill.
It would be in the news. It would be huge. There would be so many tiers. Microsoft should do it. Open your wallet.
Pegasus tiers. I mean, tiers of
Pegasus.
some
Why is this gaining
horses.
traction?
I don't know. Gamers Watch swinging by with the 5 says, I'd rather a delayed game than a crunch dev team. But a month delay so close to launch means both of those things are happening. And he's 100% right.
Very well
right.
said. Very well said.
Gamers Watch, guys, another podcast out there, Gamers Watch. Go listen to them. They're everywhere. They even have a YouTube channel now. So, yeah, check them out. Really good really good people, good stuff there. I'd listen myself. So, yeah. Risk it for the biscuit says Pegasus Nation. Okay.
Shout out Risk It.
Yeah, Pegasus. I've been hearing so much about Pegasus lately. What's that about, Gaz? What's a Pegasus?
Well,
I know it's a winged
someone
horse.
sent it to me, and I thought it was a parody made by some really bored Xbox guy who was making fun of the PlayStation guys. But apparently, the PlayStation hardcore, those characters, I won't mention names, but
PlayStation
they created
Hardcore.
Hardcore. Very hardcore. Thought it would be a good thing to embrace the pony narrative and throw a Pokeball at it and evolve it into the Pegasus Nation. Except it's such it's so cringe, but it's like a gift to the Xbox guys. It's like, You want to do this? You want to own being these guys? Do it. Just do it.
Oh man,
So sad. These guys are old people, man. It's just-
I better not see Xbox dudes running around saying we're Voltron now or some kind of
if
other
you do that,
robot.
I'll gun you.
Yeah,
I'll gun you.
don't.
Voltron.
Don't. We're GoBots. Who
Don't
knows
give
what
them
they'll say.
ideas. GoBots.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
old. Guys,
Remember GoBots? Remember GoBots?
I used to watch GoBots before Transformers.
Transformers and GoBots. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch that.
Transformers was way better than GoBots. There was no competition.
There was definitely no competition.
Yeah. So, talking about games, though, let's talk about Kenna, Bridge of Spirits.
Oh.
Now, apparently, that'll be out this week. I think Tuesday.
Oh, really?
It drops. Yeah. And I was just wondering if you were thinking about getting this game at all.
Yeah, Kenna Bridge of Spirits. Oh, there you do your Acer thing. Yeah, Kenna Bridge of Spirits is a game that I'm really fondly looking at. Almost to the
Fondly,
point.
huh? I think you need
Fondly.
to join the Pegasus Nation. I didn't say that. I didn't say that, people. No, Jason, do not. This guy in the chat says Greenbots unite. No.
Greenbot, don't
No.
get my ideas. Greenbots Unite. Kena looks amazing. Ember Lab are a studio of about 20 people or so, but they come out from the talent is made of people who have been in the CGI animated industry, and they're taking that talent, very clear, obvious talent, into the gaming space to the point where it doesn't look indie at all. The visuals, like you're seeing a CGI cutscene here, but when it does officially kind of switch to gameplay, it still retains a lot of that visual fidelity that now here, and it looks really good, really good. Visually, it's looking really stunning. The only thing I have concerns about with this is how much of that very finite amount of resources have they spent on the visual side of things.
Yeah.
And how are they going to marry the gameplay with that? It does look very good. One thing I will say, though, they're kind of almost... There's platforming mixed with almost like that Dark Souls, kind of the Soulsborne kind of combat. Yeah. And that is... those tropes there are quite set in stone. And a lot of gamers like them. And it's not hard... as a non-dev, I'm speaking here. But it doesn't seem like it's that hard to do right. So there's some... fundamentals that you follow, you could probably smash it out. If you look at things like Black Myth Wukong, that also is like a Soulsborne game, and it seems like when they've got the core fundamentals of combat right, they can potentially really smash it out. In terms of this game, it has to smash the variety as well. It looks like it has a lot of things going for it. And I haven't seen this trailer before. Wow. It
looks really impressive, right? It looks really impressive.
Amazing.
And it's something that I definitely am looking at. I might pick it up. It's only $49.99 on the PlayStation 5, which it meets my requirement being under $60. So that's great. But
that's good.
I do want to see some reviews. I do want to see some reviews by people that I trust, because I don't know. I don't know if the story or the gameplay is going to be as good as it looks, because you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some games we've seen that look fantastic that just don't play very well or are kind of boring. I'm looking at you, Remedy Games. Sorry, I just not a big fan of Remedy Games. I'm bored by their games, but they look incredible. They look great. Yeah.
I should get a press copy for this. If I knew, and I'm so badly disorganized, that this was coming out 2 days after I requested one, because I wanted to do coverage for this game, and it does look really impressive, especially for an indie studio. It looks insane. But yeah, there are no reviews, and it's come out in 2 days.
Alvin said, Kenna releases in 2 days. No one's giving any previews yet. I don't know. The thing is there's an embargo, right? Just like every game has an embargo. Some are lifted early, some are lifted right on the date, So I think this one is lifted right on the date of release. It doesn't mean it's necessarily bad.
But it always sometimes you can read into that and think that's a sign of maybe confidence or lack thereof. So I don't know. But it's a little bit concerning. When an embargo's quite loose and quite early on, you're like, okay, they're confident that this game's going to smash it out. But there's been radio silent as well on that front. So I didn't even know if you didn't mention it.
One Bad Mother says Kenna is an easy game to root for, and I agree.
100%.
These indie developers, I always root for these indie devs as well.
Same.
I've played some of my favorite games this year have been indies.
Yeah.
You look at Death's Door. That game is my game of the year. It's amazing, and as much work as they put into, well, I guess Psychonauts 2 is technically, it might be considered AAA, but it's a double A glammed up, right?
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic game. Double Fine has done an amazing job with that game as well. That one should get a nomination. If it doesn't, it's a travesty. Honestly, if it doesn't.
Yeah, that would cause controversy if it didn't get nominated.
Yeah. General C, if Xbox bought Take-Two, do you think that the next GTA Online would be multi-platform? The online portion, yes, probably.
That would be smart.
That'd be a smart move, yeah. I mean, they're leaving Elder Scrolls Online on other platforms, so it makes sense.
If he's talking about GTA, whatever, 6 or whatever, that
the online portion,
for that, even that would make sense. Like, still be big and it'll make money off the PlayStation platform. Even release it a year later, people will buy it.
Yeah, even if they made, exactly. Even with the campaigns, if they released it a year later, it would make them some money there, and it would also bring a lot of fans to buying an Xbox or playing it on a PC somewhere other than the PlayStation. It would definitely do that, because those games are massive, man. Just like it's going to cause a lot of PlayStation guys to buy an Xbox for Elder Scrolls 6. That's going to happen. Because again,
exclusive.
That's what it's their whole argument when it comes to PlayStation 5 is all their exclusives, right? And that's the reason why I buy PlayStations. They're exclusives.
Yeah.
So it's the only place I can go to the place.
So much beef funds. Can you imagine if that happened so much?
It would cause way too much, though. I think it would be insane.
It would be insane. Almost to the point where I can't think of what happened, but I don't know. You never know.
I was going to discuss some of this, the NVIDIA leak of these games being ported to PC and really dive into this. But honestly, there's not much else to say on it. Like, everybody's pretty much talked about this to death. The fact that a lot of these games that were supposedly leaked, saying that these games were going to PC. Yeah, you saw the list. Things like Street Fighter 6. Monster Hunter 6, like the Dragon's Dogma 2, Chrono Cross Remaster, just a ton of games in here. And then they have like
Xbox
what is stuff like BioShock 2022? Like, is this some new BioShock
placeholder?
It's got to be a placeholder.
Yeah.
But then again, there's a lot of stuff here that it was on older platforms like Chrono Cross and Half-Life 2 remastered, stuff like this. These sort of things, like the only thing that throws a wrench into this whole list is the fact that Halo 5 was mentioned, and 343 has come out and said, no, Halo 5 is not going to PC. What do you think about that? Think they're telling the truth?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely real. The leak is real. It's come from their source. It's just that because of things like Halo Infinite, Halo 5 being in there, despite we know that it's not coming to PC, you can't completely write it off, but it goes to show the nature of it. They've got an exhaustive list of things, loads of speculative things in there, mixed in there. So don't read it as a definitive list of all the things coming. And they've kind of said that as well. It's like, look, we've got the way things works with these, you're going to get these placeholders in there. So it could have been a really potent leak. It's only because of additions like things like Halo 5 that people are a bit more chilled on it. If it wasn't for those kind of games that we know that'll come in, or some of the way, like you mentioned, like BioShock 2022.
Yeah, and speaking of BioShock, Dead Planet here says, what do you guys think is really going on with the following next BioShock special? Nick says PlayStation exclusive. Now, when Nick talks, I would listen, honestly, because he does have sources. He does get a lot of things right. But if BioShock in, say, 2022 or whatever it's going to be called, that would be a massive exclusive for PlayStation.
Huge. That was huge exclusive for PlayStation. And they would have had to pay a pretty penny for that, and it's not out of the realms of possibility.
Oh, of course not.
Even if it's timed for a year, it's a big get. Yeah.
And I would be happy because I've got both consoles, so it doesn't bother me any. Yeah, this whole thing where people get upset over, people making certain things exclusive, it doesn't bother me.
I don't like timed exclusives, though. I'll be honest with you. I don't like timed exclusives. It's like a cop out. Even if it's Rockstar, I'll feel for them.
Well, what it does is, though, it brings people to that console that can't do without playing that game. People with FOMO,
That's
whatever.
good for the console company, but it's not really good for gamers.
It's not. It's not really. I agree, but if you think about it, it's business at the end of the day. I get it. I get why both do certain things, and let's be honest, Sony can't afford to just buy something like Bethesda, So Xbox doing that is
Buying
huge.
studios is different from timed exclusives because you're now giving them a security blanket. They've got funds. Psychonauts 2, you think it will be as good as it is now?
Oh, really? Security blanket.
Money?
Tell that to EA. All right? Tell that to EA, who shut down studios left and right.
That's different.
That's different. right. We're
Studios.
talking about Microsoft. They'd never do anything wrong. They would never try to get over on us and charge us double for Xbox Live. Yeah, they'd never try anything.
They're all the same.
If it wasn't for us going out there and bitching about that whole Xbox Live Gold going double priced, then they wouldn't have went back on it. They wouldn't have fell back on that.
Nah.
They would have went through with it.
You're always these companies. Right now, it's Xbox's time to shine, and PlayStation's like BS kind of marketing speak of last gen is all coming to fray. Microsoft will be the same next gen, I'm sure. It always switches.
Yeah.
They're not your friends, man. They want your money. It's
Exactly.
business. It is business.
And Silent Hill, we've been hearing about Silent Hill forever. People are always speculating on Silent Hill. It's because people want it back. People want that game back. And I understand. I was a fan of the series too back in the day. So, of course, Metal Gear Solid, is it real? Don't know. But I would say, though, that the BioShock, because if Nick is talking about BioShock, and if there's a BioShock placeholder in the NVIDIA sheet there, I would say that there's a BioShock coming. Pretty good chance.
Me. Yeah.
So, risk it for the biscuit. Again, my brother says, Fonz, what's more exciting, Spider-Man or God of War?
He won't let this go. He won't let this go. Brisket was asking this yesterday.
Oh, really?
And King David said,
it's easy for me.
Spider-Man.
Oh, God of War for.
He said me and you said the same thing. I said God of War. So did so do you. But King said,
don't get me wrong.
Big Marvel
Spider-Man is fun. Spider-Man is fun. I thought Miles Morales was a better game, even though it was short. It was really short. I like all the abilities that comes with Miles Morales, but Spider-Man looks incredible. Spider-Man 2 does. The fact that Venom's in there, that's incredible too. That's amazing. But God of War, man, was just such a complete package.
Yeah.
It did everything right. Whereas with Spider-Man, even Miles Morales, go over here and listen to a mixtape. Go over there and listen to a mixtape. Go chase that pigeon over there. Who wants to do missions
open
like
world
that?
template with combat taken from the Batman games. That's why I haven't played it. Even though I recognize they're probably really good games, it's not there. It's not on the God of War level, man. Not for me, anyway. Shout out to Big Cloud.
Yeah, Big Cloud says, be careful. Blaze is watching. Yeah, you and Blaze had some back and forth going. I heard that episode. It's pretty fun.
It's fun, man.
Guys
I
just
like
getting
that.
at each other, but
it's good.
You know what? Big Cloud, what's up to him? We had him. I had him on my last episode. If you haven't listened to it, guys, go back and listen to it. It was a great episode. I had a blast with Bit. Really good dude. Follow him as well. What's up, Indie Gamers? Good to see you, man.
Yay. What's up, Indy?
Yeah, Indy's such an incredible content creator, man. He does indie games. That's what his whole channel is based around. But the style, I don't know if you've watched his reviews.
I have.
Incredible.
Watch his stuff.
Incredible.
Yeah,
very
really good.
Professional, very good on the mic. The guy is one of the best guys in the community, hands down. It sucks to see that, he's not where I feel he should be in
Oh yeah.
views
It's
or
the
anything.
same with you. He's not where you should be.
No,
I still think that. I think that.
I'd say the same thing about you as well, Gaz. When you do your skits and stuff, again, we covered it at the beginning, but I'm telling you, you have a level of professionalism when you do your skits and stuff. They're hilarious. Saturday Night Live quality stuff sometimes, like the whole thing where you're doing the console war thing, and you're being that crazy, Middle Eastern guy running around, talking about Game Pass this and. Oh, it was hilarious. And then seeing you in the background run, because I could have just done a whole montage and put that whole video in there. It's so funny. But, I wanted to spice it up and get a bunch of stuff that you've done. But
a lot of planning. I write the script is multiple pages. Even every camera angle. I in my head, I said, what's the best camera angle? And I write it down for my friend Kater, who's really good with the camera. I said, look, film it this way. And I'm a bit of a diva when it comes to that. But and Dodge knows. He was like, Gaz, you're so insufferable. I was like, no, retake that. It's like just little YouTube videos, but I'm just yeah,
you do great stuff, man. So apparently I've heard that I just read an article today about Heavy Rain and the Detroit Become Human developer, of course, Quantic Dream. They're saying that they're going to be creating a new Star Wars IP.
Oh.
So, this is a rumor. This is a rumor. Somebody's saying that they're going to create a new Star Wars IP. It's coming from, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm not even going to try to, but it's a French YouTuber, big YouTuber out of France. I'll try. Gautaz or Goto? I don't know. Anyway, he says that they are signing with Disney to make a new Star Wars RP now that their contract is done with Sony. And for me, Gaz, it just tells me that, man, Lucasfilm is really pushing this Star Wars stuff lately. They're like going all out.
Gaming has been, so we had Sony's film boss saying how there's going to be a lot of consolidation in the video and movie industry.
Yeah.
With because of the way things are and COVID and everything else. But he also said that naturally this is the movie guy, saying that they're looking into gaming. And I'm going to try and pull the article here. I found it. He says he actually said he expects more games company buyouts. He talks about a lot more cross-pollination with games and movies as well. Yeah. Of course, LucasArts and Star Wars, they're really diversifying, not just their suite of little mini-series. We saw The Mandalorian, which is great. They're doing a lot more there as well. But gaming is where the source is. It's where the money
really is.
Yeah, and they're really going ham at it.
But an interesting thing about...
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say Quantic Dreams, and you know what their games are like. That could fit a story-based Star Wars game really well.
Yeah, and the graphics and everything as well. They do a
Graphics,
phenomenal job. Detroit Become Human was actually a pretty decent game. But yeah, you do mostly walk around and watch stories play out pretty much. I mean, that's their games. And what's interesting to me about this, though, what I was going to say earlier, is the fact that Quantic Dream was one of those studios that we thought for sure would be bought up by Sony.
It's a good
that was the
there.
one that seemed like it would be a perfect fit, and it didn't happen. And now you see that they're going out on their own, and they're going to Disney, and they're going to create a Star Wars IP there. If this turns out to be true anyway, and it sounds like it's going to be true, but yeah, it's crazy to me that Sony didn't never just buy them.
It's not that crazy to me because Sony are quite ruthless when it comes to what they perceive as success and failures, and that's the deciding factor whether or not they'll acquire a studio. They're ruthless, and if they don't perform well, they're like, well, nah. And I think from the way, if I remember from their last game, the statements were coming, I didn't really sell that well, and maybe they, like we saw, Days Gone developer who came on David Jaffe's show, and he said that Sony are like, they look at Metacritic, they look at it. Shu Yoshida retweets Metacritic screenshots when the game does well. They have a very strong culture of looking at the scoring, looking at the sales, and if it doesn't hit those notes, then it's and it's business. That's a business approach.
Yeah, it looks like Detroit Become Human only sold a little over 2 million copies from what I'm looking at really quick here. I could be wrong. But it's not terrible. I mean, look at Housemarque. They bought up Housemarque, and their game only sold 560,000 units. But then again,
Jeez.
we're also talking about 100+ million consoles with the PlayStation 4. So
Yeah,
there's a difference
and
there.
the fact that the game is quite niche, and in fact the sales
roguelites.
were, yeah,
a lot of
Yeah.
people steer away from those as well.
yeah, they do.
But
So yeah,
you know, I expected more sales out of that game, though. Honestly, still, I did. I even thought that Ratchet and Clank would have sold more as well than they did.
That's a bit of a surprise there. That did like over 1 million, but still,
Yeah.
that's not a lot considering how many consoles have been sold. But then
Well,
it's not
do
that
we-
massive a surprise anyway, because people buy multiplats more, and the core gaming circle puts so much stock in exclusives that
Exclusive.
it's kind of
Yep.
bit. I just was just waiting for that, but that it's at odds with reality. We do have we enhance that point a bit too much, but we're the core, so we're right in the spirit of it all and the nucleus of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Quantum Dream.
Somebody
If
said-
Xbox bought that out, that would suck for the Sony.
SMS34 says, Housemarque games never sell well. Yeah, see, I don't really
Yeah,
look
quite
into the sales.
quite.
Like, that's not something I really delve into too much.
I
But
love that
when you
game.
hear about it naturally, you're kind of shocked when you hear such a low number in terms of, you know,
Yeah.
that there's 15 million around PlayStation 5 users out there. And you hear 560,000, but you see so many people that are like talking about the game, and you're wondering, okay, is everybody really playing this, or are they just saying this because they're fanboys or whatever? I don't know. Pegasus Nation, rise up. Buy your games. But yeah, so we've had a great time today, but we hit our hour mark. And of course, you know, guys, I only do an hour show here. Got
Short
things
but
to
sweet.
do. And yeah, keep it short and sweet. But I had a great time with you guys. Of course, we're friends on
Sick
the
time.
outside of this stuff too. We talk all the time. And just go ahead and let people know where they can find you and all that stuff.
Yep, GameOnDaily.com. Register there. All the gaming news is all there. We have a lot. We're going to push that properly, and two features coming out soon on that site. YouTube. I want to do weekly videos, the source videos. That's all I think about.
Yes.
I have 2 in the works already. I bought this thing not because I need it, but because of the source video. There's a clue there.
Oh, and you
what
got
the
that
actual
fancy
video-
big gimbal for your camera and all that
I
stuff.
got this. Look,
Yeah, look
this
at
thing
that.
is not
That thing's
cheap,
a
and I don't know how to use
beast.
it, but I'm learning. I'm learning. Just for the source video. So yeah, do check out Game On Daily, one word, our YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We work really hard on our content.
They do.
Really, really hard, and we make no money. We spend money on it.
Yeah. So for $1 a day, you can help Gaz and Asa eat. So please, just like their videos, share them. No, I'm just kidding. No, but
Share it
seriously,
out.
go sign up. I mean, go to subscribe to their channel. It's free. Subscribe. Come on, subscribe. Just subscribe. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, the chat has been wonderful today. Thank you guys very much. And as you know, you can listen to this podcast after the fact on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else these podcasts are played or streamed or whatnot, or even right here on YouTube after the fact on demand. And of course, people,
Smash the like.
yeah, hit that like button. Hit the like button because it would help me out immensely. You don't know how much that does help the videos and the live streams, especially because these live streams, they don't do very well. But anyway, I try, Gaz tries, we all try. And until next time, don't fly, Pegasus. Don't fly. I don't know.